my capacity? That also has to be answered. So I think, and please, Famida, I hope you are noting that you have to take this as my instruction, that Group 3 has to sit immediately, based on that, identify the priorities in wider consultation with the society, and then submit our projects to whichever ministry is relevant, whether it's Ministry of Fishery, Ministry of Local Government. We should be able to identify the priorities and engage in developing the projects. Now, with regard to inclusion of journalists, it depends on how you look at your role. Do you want to play the watchdog role without being part of the government system? Or you want to be included in the government system and then play a role? To me, I think the media should play the role of watchdog. If there were platforms like Forum of Environmental Journalists in Bangladesh, I would have immediately said yes to your proposal, but I would request you to rethink about your proposal and as to how you want your voice in the whole system. When the Ministry of Industry wants to set up a committee to oversee the tannery industry and they want to include Ministry of Environment, I say a clear no. The reason is I am a regulator. If they include me in that committee, they being a ministry with more resources, they claiming to be contributing more to the economy, will try to always silence my regulatory role on ground of export and income generation and employment. On the other hand, if we calculate how much we are losing for environmental contamination, we would see that many of the so-called economic activities are either zero or in the scale of minus. So when we talk about whether it's adaptation or mitigation, when we talk about a whole of government approach, I think environmental protection, protection of natural resources will have to be taken as a matter of national vision. After assuming responsibility, I have turned down many requests from other ministries where they wanted to construct a road by cutting the hills, where they wanted to build something by filling up the river. It is not only a whole of the government approach from an institutional viewpoint, it also has to be a vision of the government of Bangladesh that whatever development it thinks about, it has to think about development by protecting the environment. So I request the Planning Commission Secretary, who has been very kind to be here with us the whole morning, to really ensure that whatever project he passes, that passes the tests of green and environmental protection. So there was a question from the audience. I think instead of waiting for the fourth group to develop the monitoring tools for BCDP and this project, that the same development tool should actually apply to all the government agencies, whether it's ERD, whether it's planning, whether it's finance division. If only a mega project gets the priority and environment is somewhere just to say yes to the mega project, I think we have to really rethink the modality, and that monitoring tool should not only be the monitoring tool for BCDP, it should be the monitoring tool for the ERD, planning and finance division. So I'm very hopeful that we'll be able to, we actually have identified our priorities in that. Based on that, the third group should sit immediately. We should we will be able to have civil society representation and youth representation. We should definitely consider having representation from the disability group and any other ministry and agencies who have expressed interest based on the project we identify to be priorities. You can also be included. I sincerely hope that this initiative does not end up in another bureaucratic triangle, but with proper enthusiasm from the Ministry of Environment, with support from Finance and Planning division will be able to set example for other countries in the world as to how climate change can be channeled, how it can be channeled with a sense of urgency and with scale, and how we can ensure transparency and inclusion in the decision making in mitigating climate challenges, whether that's in area of mitigation or adaptation. With these words, I thank you all again for being here the whole morning and for participating. I hereby declare that the web portal, which should be on the screen, and the secretariat to be open and functional. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your profound and insightful